Hello everybody, it's Mel. Thank you for joining me today for a Q1 statistics and goals recap. So this year for my reading goals, I am using the bingo board from Hell, which is a bingo board that was created by Win from Literary Diversions. So I will of course put their channel in the description below so that you can go and subscribe to their channel. They are amazing and you should definitely do so. Anyone else that I talk about in this video will also be linked down below, so you can go and subscribe to all of those amazing people. So that is how I am doing my reading goals for the year. What I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to go through all of the goals that I have there and say how I'm going with those various goals. Do I need to change anything at this stage of the year, etc. I also thought that I would do a little bit of a recap of some of my stats for the year so far, favourite book, all of that sort of thing. Before I quickly get into all of that, I'll just mention that I have done a wrap up of the books that I've read, and also in that video I used the book matrix, which was a concept that was created by Jess from Joshi Corin, so I will link her channel below as well, like I said, and it is a concept that is a little bit more in depth than the book bracket book battle that people often use, which is also obviously fun, but worked out quite well for me because I haven't read that much so far this year, and yeah, it just didn't seem like the best idea. So I decided to go with this idea, which I think is working really, really well. I will link my wrap up and book battle down below, that video down below as well. But yeah. So what I might do actually first is quickly run through the stats, and then we will do the the bingo board from Hell after that. So I've got my reading journal here. It is an always fully booked journal, and I'll link my little flip through of how I've set that up down below as well. So I'm going to go to the end of the quarter at the back of after March. They always have this quarter wrap up. So I'll go through. So standout reads. My favourite book of the quarter was The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. And like I said, how I come to that conclusion is listed down below the video where I do that. So I've got current loves. So we've got author R.F. Kuang. I absolutely love her. I knew that I did already. The Poppy War just kind of cemented her as a new favourite author. Favourite character? I would go with the Fool from the Fitz and the Fool trilogy by Robin Hobb, which is the final series in the Realm of the Elderling series. I already knew I loved the Fool, so maybe it's cheating a little bit to say he's my favourite character, but nonetheless, he is in fact my favourite character. My favourite TV show so far this quarter has been Bones, which is a bit of an old school. I think it started in 2004 or something like that. Yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. It is a police procedural, but it has a little bit of a twist because the main character, one of the main characters, is a forensic anthropologist. The series is loosely based on the book series by Kathy Reichs. It's quite loosely based, but there are some really cool nods to the series. I haven't read the entire series, but I've read some of her books. But it's also kind of funny, even though it's dealing with death. It's really good. It's really fun. You should watch it. It's on Netflix. Well, for us in Australia it is anyway. I don't know about the rest of the world and Netflix, but as far as I know, it's available on Netflix. Favourite movie so far this year? I haven't really had a chance to watch many movies, either out and about or at home, but my favourite movie so far this year has been Hamnet, which is a adaptation of the book Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. I really enjoyed that book, and the movie was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was very well acted, really atmospheric, and just fantastic. I don't have any favourite music. I'm tending to listen to playlists. I mean, I guess I'm listening to playlists of my favourite songs and my favourite music, but I don't have anything new that I've been obsessed with to talk about. I will just say though, there are a few albums out that are music from Bluey, which is a kids' TV show created here in Australia but is kind of a worldwide phenomenon at this point. They're available on ABC Listen and I think Apple Music as well, probably Disney, but anyway, there's a few albums, and for the most part they are theme music from the show, but they're actually really good. They're actually really, really fun to listen to. Sometimes it's like episodes, so there's little bits from the episode, but it's not a lot, and the music's beautiful, so I would actually recommend that. So, place I visited, I haven't really done a lot so far this quarter, so I really enjoyed going to the Botanical Gardens with my with my child. They really love it, and it's a good time. It's beautiful gardens, so yeah, I'll go with that one. So I have a genre breakdown for you. I have where I'm at in terms of my goals and some reading stats as well to share with you, and then I'll do the bingo board. So my genre breakdown so far this year in this quarter, so I'm talking about January, February, March, even though we're most of the way through April, and in fact this will go up at the end of April. It doesn't include April. So anyway, I have read 4 fantasy books. I have read 1 classic. I have read 2 mysteries, 1 romantasy, 1 contemporary, and 1 historical fiction. I have read 10 out of 52 books. That was my Goodreads goal. Now, if you follow me on Goodreads, and that is always down below as well, you will see that actually I'm very much ahead of where I'm supposed to be, because I'm actually including all of the kids' picture books that I read, and I haven't updated that recently, but that I read. Currently, we're in a mindset where we read part of the book and then we get bored of the book and shut it and wander off, which is fine. It's very normal developmentally. But anyway, I'm reading a lot of kids' books at the moment, so I'm including them on Goodreads, which has meant that I'm well past where I should be in terms of my goal. But in terms of books I'm reading just for myself, I'm actually only at 10. I was at 10 at the end of end of quarter 1 out of 52. So we'll see how we go. Anyhow, so reading stats, we have amount read, 10. Number of print, so number of books that were physical books, 4. Number of books I've read in ebook version, and that is 1. Number of audiobooks is 5. I've actually read more audiobooks than physical books this quarter, which is literally the first time I've ever done that. So that's kind of odd, but also kind of cool. Number of rereads, we have 4, and number of DNFs, number of did not finishes, we have 1. So that's pretty good going, really. So that's kind of my general kind of wrap up for the quarter, but let's have a look at the bingo board from hell. So like I said, I put it on screen. I'll put it back on screen now. I'm going to go through it and I'm going to talk to you about each individual one and let you know how I'm going with that and whether I need to change it. But I just need to check because my battery was running low, so give me a sec. Okay, so apologies if the angle has changed, but yes, I did need to swap the battery out. So, bingo board from hell. Let's have a look at how we're going. I'm starting from the top. As you look at it, it will be left-hand corner, so top left-hand corner. I need to read 10% of my physical owned TBR by the end of the year. And currently, let me look.
Hello, it is Editing Mel. I am coming in to say that I have just realised that I completely got the maths incorrect when I was filming this bit of the video. I thought that what I meant in the video you're currently watching, I thought that I talked about the percentage of books that I had read and it being 10%. But what I actually meant was I wanted to read 10% of my physical TBR, as in 10% of the current amount of physical books on my TBR, which at the time of filming the original video, which is listed below, is 150 books all up on my TBR, which means I needed to read 15 books. I've read 3 books off of my physical TBR, which means that I'm about where I need to be, assuming that my TBR stays around 150. So yeah, that's
and then next one along is 3 non-fictions, and I am currently reading 1 non-fiction, and I should hopefully finish that by the end of this month, which means I only need to read 2 more non-fictions, and I have got, well, it's now actually April, so that means that I have got 8 months, which I definitely think is doable. So I'm definitely on track for that, so I'm happy with that. Okay, the next one, the top right-hand corner, as you're looking at it, we have 4 classics. I've read 1 classic, but as you probably know, I am a co-host for a classics read-along. So it's actually called the Jane Austen and Friends read-along, and I'm co-hosting with Margaret from The Word Nerd, Brooklyn from Brooklyn Reads, Neva from Neva's Cozy Corner, and a non-booktuber but also a member of the book community, Christina. We are reading classics every couple of months. So we started with Pride and Prejudice, which I've read. Next book is Anna Green Gables, which I will definitely be reading. These are rereads for me, but it still counts. Then we have Sense and Sensibility coming up, and then we haven't decided for the latter half of the year. We're going to actually hopefully decide that with the group. But I'm definitely well on track to reading 4 classics, so I'm very happy with that. By the way, if you'd like to join the read along, please do so. We are chatting about the books as we go through and read them in my Discord, which is listed down below. You're welcome to join for any of the things that we do. We just have general chats in the Discord. I'm also running the Poppy War read along with Steph from Coffee Over Apples and Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany out of that Discord as well as my own book club, which is a quarterly book club. Please join for any of those things or just general chats. We would love to have you. But anyway, that's how I'm going with classics, which I'm very happy with. Then next row, we're going to go to the other end of the row, to the left of the middle, and finish 4 series. So I don't think I finished any series so far this year, which means I'm definitely not on track for 4. However, I do have a few things that I could pick up which would finish. Well, I have at least 2 things that I could pick up which would finish, like one more book, which would finish a series. And then I'm definitely reading the Poppy War trilogy, so that would definitely finish a series. So I think I'll be okay, but I need to kind of keep an eye on that one. But I need to keep it at 4 series because I think it's doable. Then I have Read from 8 series, which is in the middle here. Honestly, not doing too well. I seem to be starting series and not continuing with series, which is not ideal. So I'm actually going to make it 6. I'm going to change it to 6. I still think 8 is doable, but I don't feel like having these as, weights around my neck, if that makes sense, for what I'm doing for the quarter. So we'll go with Read from 6 series instead by the end of this year. Always have an audiobook on the go. Well, as you've heard, I have read 5 audiobooks so far this year, which is half of the books that I've read, which is very unusual for me at any point normally, but it does mean that I'm sticking to that. I'm making sure I have an audiobook always on the go, and it's working really, really well for me, because rather than saying I have to read this many, just always making sure I have some on the go is working really well, and I'm in fact sticking to that goal. So as long as I keep doing it, which I seem to be, I'll definitely complete that goal by the end of the year. It's nice to have a goal that is a little bit more broad and not a number, because it doesn't matter how I go about doing that. If I always have something on the go, even if I don't listen to it until, always having something on the go doesn't mean I have to listen to it all the time. It means that I have to always have something available that I am actively choosing to listen to when I actively choose to listen to audiobooks. So I didn't listen to audiobooks at all over the weekend, really, and I still have one on the go. So I think that works out well. Anyway, I'm on track and I'm happy with that. All right, last row, over to the right, we have 50% of books acquired in 2025/2026. So I've read the Poppy War, which I acquired at the end of 2025. For the quarter, I have not read, half the books that I've read does not equal, blah, blah, blah. In this first quarter of the year, I have not read 50% of what I've so far read has not been a new release from last year or this year. So I'm definitely not on track for that. I'm going to leave that though and see where I am in the middle of the year, and then potentially look at changing it then, depending on how I'm going in the middle of the year. So we'll see. It's not looking good though. Anyhow, let's move on. Read every day is not happening. That is not a goal that is happening. I've been reading a lot more last couple of weeks than I had previously. It's a bit tricky with Baby Book Fiend. I tend to, in the evenings, be tired, and I find reading is something that doesn't really work well for me when I'm tired. And Baby Book Fiend has a tendency of climbing on me if I'm reading a physical book. But this last week or so, they haven't really done that as much. So they might be kind of growing out of that tendency. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how we go with that. But anyway, so that's not going that well. But we're going to see how we go. And then 3 horror books. Well, I haven't read any horror books, but I still do have 8 months left. So I think I can potentially read 3 horror books. But I do have to kind of keep an eye on that, because horror is not a book that is not a genre that I tend to reach for, which means that if I don't kind of actively try and think about it a bit, I won't end up reading that. But 1, 2, 3, I'm looking down at the copy I have in my journal, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 is okay. I'm okay with that. And anyway, like I said, I will look, I've changed, no, I'm not changing Finish 4 series, but I'm changing Read from 8 to Read from 6, and then I'll have a look at Finish 4 series and 50% of the books acquired in 2025, 2026. I'll look at those in the middle of the year and see how I'm going, see whether I think I need to change them. Read every day I can't do anything about what I have not achieved there. I kind of knew that one was a stretch, but I like the idea of still attempting to do that. But having said that, listening to books counts as reading. So actually, I probably have achieved that, because usually when I'm driving to the various places that I take Baby Book Fiend, I do listen to an audiobook. So actually, I might be achieving that, which is pretty good. But anyway, yeah, those are all my goals for 2025. That is my bingo board from hell and my updates there. That's my general sort of stats and overview of the quarter. I said 2025 a second ago. It's 2026, isn't it? Anyhow. But yeah, so that's the video. That's everything I wanted to talk to you about today. If you have any thoughts, any comments that you'd like to make on anything I've discussed in this video, please do let me know that down below in the comments. How are you going with your goals? Let me know a favourite or one of your favourite books that you've read so far this year, and let me know either a favourite movie, a favourite TV show, or some favourite music that you've been listening to in the comments below. That'd be great. If you would like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave me a little ghost emoji, because we have a little ghost on the bingo board from hell. But yeah, that's everything that I want to talk to you about today, so I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.